The sky above Earth was quiet. Stars blinked gently. Satellites orbited without fuss. And deep space seemed like a calm ocean stretching into forever. But in a quiet control room, buried beneath the mountains of Colorado, something changed. Soft beeping sound broke the silence. Screen blinked red. Dr. Mason Hayes, a senior astrophysicist, leaned forward. He adjusted his glasses, blinked twice, then froze. There it was again. A signal, faint, broken, and definitely not from Earth. He stared for a long second, unsure if he was awake. Then he reached for his headset. "Control, this is Hayes. I need someone in signal analysis. Now." In less than a minute, the room filled with people. Scientists, technicians, military observers. Everyone stared at the screen as the signal repeated. 3 long pulses. A pause, then a short burst of rapid pulses. It didn't match anything known. Not a star, not a pulsar, not random noise. It was structured, intentional. More analysts arrived. The signal was cleaned up, decoded, slowed down, and played through speakers. The sound made everyone's blood run cold. It was a voice, not human. It spoke in a deep, buzzing tone. The words made little sense at first, but with AI help, the translation became clearer. "This is Vessel Erton. Repeat, this is the Erton of the Telon Collective. To any who receive, we are under attack. Coordinates attached. Assistance required. Survivors remain. Please help us." Followed. Everyone in the room looked. At each other, the voice wasn't asking to conquer or threaten. It was begging. A debate started right away. Some wanted to ignore it. It could be a trick. A trap. Others argued it was the first real sign of intelligent life out there, and it was in trouble, far away in orbit. The United Earth Defense Coalition sat in silence. Every major country was watching the same message. After hours of arguing, a vote was cast. Send a ship, but not a full fleet. Just one ship, fast, stealthy, capable of defending itself, but built to observe. One captain was chosen. Commander Kara stood in the hangar bay of the ISS Deliverance, her ship, a sleek dark gray with curved wings and folded railguns. It looked like a bird of prey waiting to launch. She studied her crew as they loaded Giryong, experienced a mix of old veterans and tech geniuses. They didn't know what they were flying into. None of them did. Her orders were simple. Go to the coordinates, investigate the source of the signal, recover survivors if any existed, and report back. No combat unless absolutely necessary. She knew that meant one thing. They didn't want Earth to be seen as a threat. But something about the message bothered her. She watched it again before launch. The voice didn't sound desperate in a human way. It sounded broken, like they had lost everything. Whatever attacked them wasn't just dangerous. It had wiped them out. As the Deliverance broke through Earth's atmosphere and leaped into the dark of space, Kara sat in silence, staring at the stars. The AI navigator, named Syl, began calculating jump vectors. Estimated arrival time at signal coordinates, 31 hours, 44 minutes. It said calmly. The crew settled into routine scans, simulations, equipment checks. But everyone felt the same thing, a weight, like something huge was waiting at the other end of the journey. 31 hours later, ship dropped out of warp, and everything changed. The scene outside the viewport was chaos. The system they entered, an unregistered star cluster, was filled with wreckage. Massive ships drifted, broken in half. Glowing green fire burned silently in space. Pieces of what used to be space stations spun slowly like corpses in water. No. Response came on any frequency. Kara's voice cut through the silence. Run full scans, life signs, weapons, anything. The sensors swept the field. One word came back, survivor. Everyone jumped. The reading was faint, barely alive. It was coming from a small escape pod stuck in the ruins of a shattered cruiser. Kara gave the order. 2 crew members suited up, exited through the airlock, and retrieved the pod. Looked strange rounded, marked with symbols that glowed softly. They brought it inside, and the ship's medic began cutting it open. Inside, was a child. Small, thin, with silver-blue skin and 4 delicate fingers on each hand. 2 glowing eyes flickered open, full of fear. The child tried to speak, but no one could understand her. She flinched from the humans, backing into the pod's corner. Kara knelt beside her and lowered her helmet. She showed her empty hands and spoke softly. "We're here to help." The child stared at her for a moment. Then she reached out and touched Kara's hand. Suddenly, a deep humming sound filled the ship. "Unknown energy spike," shouted a crew member. Kara turned. "What is it?" But before anyone could answer, alarms blared. "Incoming object. Fast approach." 1 contact. The screen blinked. A ship black, sleek, and twice the size of the Deliverance was heading straight for them. It didn't match any known designs. No response to hails. No visible weapons yet. The child panicked. She began to shake violently and pointed at the screen. "She's terrified of it," said the medic. Kara didn't wait. Shields up. "Prep. Jump. Now." The enemy ship launched something, a burst of red energy that barely missed them. Shields flickered. "Sil, get us out of here." The AI counted down. "Jump in 5, 4. The enemy ship fired again. 3, 2. The stars bent and twisted and the Deliverance disappeared. Silence returned to the wreckage. Back in safe space, the crew sat in stunned silence. They had found a survivor. They had found a threat. And now, whatever that thing was, it had seen them. It had marked them. Kara looked at the child, who was now asleep in the medbay, breathing slowly. This wasn't just a rescue mission anymore. They had brought something back with them, and Earth didn't know it yet. But it was in danger. The Deliverance floated quietly in orbit above Earth. Inside, tension filled the air like thick fog. No one spoke much. They were still trying to understand what had just happened. Commander Kara Voss stood in the medbay doorway, arms crossed, watching the alien child sleep. Her silver-blue skin glowed softly under the lights. She looked peaceful now, but Kara couldn't forget the panic in her eyes when that black ship appeared. She tapped her com. "Bridge status," Lieutenant Hart's voice replied. "Ship secured. No signs of pursuit. Earth Command wants a full report." Kara sighed. She wasn't ready. There was too much they didn't know. She walked to the main lab, where Dr. Rafik, the science officer, was studying the data they recovered from the wreckage. He looked tired, eyes red but focused. "What do we have?" she asked. Rafik turned his screen toward her. "This is no ordinary distress call. The ship we found, it was a civilian vessel, not military. They weren't soldiers. They were running. Running. From what?" He clicked a file. A blurry image came up. It showed a fleet of alien ships being torn apart by something fast, too fast to see clearly. This enemy, it's like a ghost. It didn't just destroy the ships, it shut them down. Their power systems comes everything. Kara narrowed. Her eyes emptied. Stronger, it's like something alive. Tech that feeds off energy. I've never seen anything like it. And the child, she's Talon. That's the name of her species. The pod had a weak translator program. I've been running it through our systems. He hit play. A soft, distorted voice came through. The speaker, it was the child, speaking in a strange language. After a few seconds, the AI filled in the translation. "We called for help. They followed. We are sorry. Please, do not answer." Kara froze. She didn't want us to come. She did, and didn't, Rafik said. I think they were desperate. They hoped someone would help, but they knew. Whoever answered might also be targeted. A chill ran down Kara's spine. "They followed us," she said quietly. It knows who we are now." Just then the lights flickered. "Sil, report," Kara called out. The AI responded calmly. "Brief power fluctuation. No system errors. External sensors are clean." "Still," Kara said, turning back to Rafik. "I want a full system scan and increase internal security. I don't care if it's a kid, we don't know what she is yet." Rafik nodded. Meanwhile, in Earth's Central Military Command, the Deliverance's report was causing waves. Most leaders didn't believe it. A child alien, a predator ship that could drain energy from miles away. It sounded like science fiction. Some thought it was a test. Others thought it was a trick. But not everyone was blind. Admiral Thorne, head of Earth's orbital defense, sat alone in his office, rewatching the video feed from the Deliverance. He paused on the enemy ship, the black shape, the red pulse weapon. The way it moved like a living thing. He knew it was real, and it was coming. Back on the Deliverance, Kara entered the medbay again. The child was awake now, sitting up, staring at a glowing orb floating near the ceiling. She looked scared, but calmer than before. Kara sat next to her, slowly, gently. "I'm Kara," she said, pointing to herself. The child hesitated, then pointed at herself. "Renari?" "Renari," Kara repeated with a small smile. "Are you hurt?" The translator buzzed. Renari shook her head. Kara reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, Earth Toya rubber sphere that lit up when bounced. She handed it to the child. Renari touched it with wonder. Then she looked up and said one word. "Dra'kul." Kara blinked. "What?" The translator spoke. "Dra'kul, enemy, death." Renari's voice trembled. "They do not want planets. They do not want peace. They only erase." Kara leaned in. "Why us? Why call Earth?" The translator took a long time, then responded, "You are old. It's forgotten. But you fight. Talon records said. You might answer." Kara's mind spun. Old. Forgotten. She stood quickly and went back to the lab. "Rafik," she said. "Cross-reference. This term, Dra'kul. Look for ancient alien records. Anything about forgotten worlds. My gut says we're missing something big." Hours passed. The crew stayed on high alert. Sensors showed no sign of the black ship, but everyone felt it like a shadow pressing against the hull. Then, during the night cycle, it happened. Alarms blared. "Unidentified object entering solar system," Syl announced.
Oh.
"Trajectory direct. Path to Earth." Kara bolted to the bridge, put it on screen. The black shape appeared. Still far, but moving fast. No communication. "No response to hails," said Hart. "It's them." Kara made her decision instantly. "We're not leading that thing to Earth. Helm, take us back into deep space. Draw it off." The Hart started. "That's an order." Deliverance turned and jumped again, this time toward an empty sector on the far edge of the system. They emerged into darkness. No stars, no planets. Just silence. Kara paced the bridge, tense. Any sign it followed? A pause. No. Wait. The lights flickered again. "Syl," Kara asked. "Unknown interference." Signal disruption from the ship rocked. Red lights. Flashed. "Contact," someone yelled. "It found us." Kara gritted her teeth. "Raise shields. Ready evasive maneuvers." "Renari, get to the safe room now." The child screamed from the hallway. "Dra'kul." A red beam shot past the viewport. Not a laser, more like a drain. Systems flickered. Lights dimmed. The ship's power started dropping. Kara's voice cut through the chaos. "Syl, how fast can we make a double jump?" "Risky," the AI replied. "Engines not fully charged. Failure likely. We don't have a choice." The black ship drew closer. Kara grabbed the mic. All crew braced for burn. The stars twisted, then twisted again. Everything went. White dot silence. The ship floated, damaged. Far away from everything, but alive. Barely Kara stood up from the floor. Bruised, gasping. "Report," she CRO'd. Systems were failing. Power down to 10%. Communications gone. Engines cooling, but no sign of the Dra'kul. They had escaped. For now, Kara looked at her crew, and at Renari, who clutched the glowing toy in her arms. This was no longer a recovery. Mission. The enemy was real. Earth was in danger, and if they didn't act soon, it would be too late. The Deliverance was broken. Lights flickered, panels sparked, and the crew moved slowly through the damaged halls. Gravity was weak. Systems were barely holding on. Kara stood at the command console with sweat on her brow and blood on her lip. She ignored it. There were bigger problems. They were floating in deep space, cut off from Earth, with an enemy that hunted silently and without mercy. The Dra'kul, name that sounded like a nightmare. "Status," she said, her voice tired but sharp. Rafik answered from the science station. "We lost the main engine core during the jump. Backup power is holding, but communications are offline. We can't reach Earth." Kara clenched her jaw. "Can we repair the core?" "Maybe, but not out here. We need a station or a dry dock, which we don't have," she said flatly. Hart turned from the tactical console. "We should assume. The Dra'kul are still tracking us. We can't sit still." Kara nodded, her mind already racing. "Then we fix what we can and move. Low power. No signals. Stealth mode only." In the med bay, the child Renara sat on the edge of her bed, wrapped in a blanket. She watched the crew move with wide, silent eyes. The translator chip was still adjusting to her language, but she understood one thing well: fear. When Kara entered, Renari looked up and said something soft. The translator responded, "You were not ready." "No," Kara replied. "We weren't." She sat beside her and asked gently, "What are the Dra'kul?" Renari stared at her hands, then began to speak in short, sharp phrases. The translator worked to keep up. "They are the end. They come when light fades. When stars go quiet." Kara frowned. "What do they want?" "Nothing. They do not want. They feed. They erase." Renari took a deep breath. "We sent the signal, not to trap, to find the last chance. A legend. A story." Raised her eyebrows. "What story?" Renari looked at her. "Of Earth, of humans, of a species that did not fall." The words hit Kara like a punch to the chest. "You knew about us? Long ago? Talon scouts found your signal. Old broadcasts. Music, war, fire, hope," they said. "These ones fight." Even when broken, Kara didn't speak for a while. "So, you called us because we're stubborn." Renari nodded slowly. "Because you are dangerous. 2 enemies." Outside, the repair teams worked hard. 2 EVA suits floated near the ship, reconnecting damaged cables and sealing hull breaches. Inside, Siltha ship's AI guided them silently. No comms, no beacons. Just quiet work. Then something strange happened. A signal appeared on the internal system. Not from Earth, not from space. From inside the ship, Kara ran to the bridge. "Talk to me, Sil. There is a file in the core system." It appeared after the last jump. No source ID. Hidden code. "Open it." A message played. It was a Telon voice. Clear, calm, recorded. "If you are hearing this, you have answered our call. Know this. The Dra'kul cannot be beaten by force alone. They consume energy. They grow from it. They fear something. In your kind, you must find the Echo Vault. The coordinates are in this file. It holds what the Dra'kul fear, but they cannot touch." The file ended. Kara leaned over the console. "Rafik, find those coordinates." He nodded. "There. Not in any known star maps, but they're real. It'll take us 3 jumps. With a broken ship." He looked up. "If we keep the cores stable and only run short bursts, maybe." Kara stared at the screen. A vault? A weapon? A secret? Whatever it was, the Telon wanted them to have it. She turned to the crew. "Prep the ship. Quiet jumps. 1 at a time. The Dra'kul follow. We lead them away. But if that vault holds something they fear, we find it." The crew nodded. No one argued. Not anymore. An hour later, the Deliverance limped into its first jump. A slow burst, just enough to reach the next waypoint. On the other side, they found a cold system. A dead star, frozen planets, no sign of life, no sign of Dra'kul. They drifted. Their 4 hours, repairing, resting, watching the dark, Kara sat in her quarters, staring at a photo of her old squad. Humans had always fought hard, even when the odds were impossible. Maybe that was what the Talon saw in them. It's not strength, but fire. The next jump came faster. The second system was worse, an asteroid field torn apart by old war wreckage. Renari gasped when she saw the debris. Talon ships, she whispered. They tried, they failed. The vault was close now. 1. Jump left. Kara stood before her crew in the command bay. This is it. Whatever's in that vault, it might help us stop them, or warn others, just by Earth time. She looked at them one by one. We might not come back, but if we don't try, they will erase us. Just like they did the Talon. No one backed down. The third jump was the hardest. The core flickered, lights dimmed, systems groaned, but they made it. They emerged near a lonely moon, orbiting a quiet, dark planet. On the surface was a structure massive, buried under ice, shaped like a spiral. The vault. Kara leaned forward. Land us. As the ship descended, the crew armed themselves. No one knew what waited inside, but one thing was clear. The Dra'kul feared it, and that meant it was exactly where they needed to go. The Deliverance hovered over the icy moon like a ghost. The structure below was massive, half buried in frozen rock, silent, still, and ancient. From above, it looked like a spiral made of stone and metal, pulsing faintly with a blue glow. Didn't look like anything human. Didn't even look like Talon design. Kara stood at the front of the bridge, staring down at it. That's the Echo Vault, she said quietly. Rafik nodded. Based on scans, it's over a mile wide. Sealed. No visible entrance. But there's energy inside. Strong energy. Very old. Can we land? Barely. The surface is unstable in some places, but if we stay near the outer ring, we should be fine. Kara tapped her cum. Team 1, suit up. We're going down. Outside, the ship's landing gear hissed as it settled on the cracked ice. Wind whipped around the hull. Snow drifted in slow waves, untouched for what might have been 1,000 years. Kara, Hart, Rafik, and 2 security officers stepped out in full suits. Renari watched them from the window, her hand pressed to the glass. She whispered just one word. Careful. The team moved across the frozen ground. Their boots crunched with every step. The vault towered over them, ancient and strange. Symbols lined the walls, some glowing softly. Others cracked and broken. Look at this, Rafik said, scanning one panel. It's made of something I've never seen before. The walls are absorbing our light, like it's feeding off it. Kara approached a stone archway that led into darkness. Any readings? Rafik shook his head. Still nothing hostile. No movement, no heat, just something deep below. Alive, maybe. Not biological, but there's a pulse, like a heartbeat. The team entered the vault. Inside, the air changed. It wasn't cold anymore. It wasn't warm either. It was just still. Time felt slower. Sounds echoed strangely. Their flashlights barely reached the walls. The structure went down, far into the ice. As they descended, strange lights blinked on the walls. Blue, then green, then red. Symbols lit up as they passed. Then a voice echoed, not loud, not angry, just present. You are not of the Talon. You are a fire, of resistance. You may enter. Everyone froze. Who said that? Hart asked, spinning around. No signal, Rafik said, checking his scanner. It came from the walls. It's built into the vault itself. The voice spoke again. We feared they would find you. We feared your light would be extinguished. But you came. Kara took a breath. Who are you? There was a long pause. We are the first. The ones before the stars. We built this place for those who would fight the darkness. The Dra'kul. Then tell us how to stop them, she said. The ground rumbled beneath them. A door opened. Inside was a chamber filled with floating crystals, glowing with swirling lights. At the center stood a pillar. On it, a small sphere, hovered black with sparks of blue light flashing inside it like a storm. The weapon, Rafik said. No, the voice corrected. Not a weapon. A memory. A truth. Kara stepped closer to the sphere. It responded to her presence. Wave of images flooded her mind, fast, blurry, chaotic. Worlds dying, ships burning, the Dra'kul spreading like shadows. And then, humans. Not just from now, from Earth's deep past. Warriors, soldiers, explorers, dying, but never surrendering. Fighting impossible odds, leaving warnings for the stars. One face returned again and again. A woman in old battle armor, holding a torn flag with Earth's symbol on it. She spoke one phrase over and over. If they come, make them bleed. Kara staggered back. What was that? The reason we called you? The voice said. Your kind cannot be consumed. Not easily. Your fire disrupts their feeding. Your rage burns what they absorb. You're their opposite. Then why don't we remember any of this? Hart asked. Why doesn't Earth know? The voice grew quiet. Because they erased history. They wiped minds. But some echoes remain. Some stories survive. In you. Kara looked at the sphere again. What do I do with this? Take it. It holds the map to the Dra'kul's core. Their home, their weakness. Only fire can reach it. Rafik stepped forward. But this isn't just knowledge, is it? This thing, it amplifies. Yes, the voice said. It will awaken what sleeps inside you. But beware. Fire burns both ways. Kara reached out and touched the sphere. It was cold at first, then burning. Then everything went white. She stood in darkness. Not space, not void. Inside her mind. She saw herself older, broken, fighting. She saw Earth, cities falling, people rising. And then she saw something else. The Dra'kul, a mind. Watching, waiting. It felt her. She pulled back, gasping, clutching. The sphere, her crew caught her before she fell. I'm fine, she whispered. Let's go. We got what we came for. As they left the vault, the wind howled louder. The snow swirled harder. Then the sky split open. A red streak, a flash of black. Kara's heart sank. They found us. The Dra'kul ship descended. Like a hawk, its shape shifted in the air, dark and flowing. Red veins of light ran through its hull. The Deliverance's alarm blared through their helmets. They're targeting us, Hart said. We need to get out of here now. Kara turned to the vault one last time. Thank you, she said. The voice whispered back. Burn bright. They sprinted across the ice as the enemy ship fired a pulse. It struck the ground near them, sending up a wave of heat and light. The Deliverance opened its hatch just in time. The team dove in. Engines, Kara yelled. Still weak, Syl replied, but functional. Lift off now. The ship roared as it lifted from the moon, shaking with the effort. The Dra'kul ship gave chase, faster, angrier. Inside, Renari stood silently in the medbay, staring at the growing shape on the screen. She didn't cry, she didn't scream. She closed her eyes and whispered, Let them come. Kara stared at the sphere in her hand as it pulsed with energy. They had the truth now. And Earth was running out of time. The Deliverance tore through space with everything it had left. Engines screamed. Hull panels groaned. Systems blinked red across every screen. Behind them, the Dra'kul ship gave chase dark, fast, and furious. Kara gripped the armrests of her command chair, eyes locked on the screen. The alien ship moved like it was alive. It didn't just follow, it hunted. Each pulse it fired drained energy from nearby stars, leaving black scars in space. Syl, status, she called out. Enemy gaining, the AI responded. Shields at 40%. Core temperature rising. Can't outrun that thing, Hart said from the weapons console. We're not going to, Kara replied. We're going to fight. The crew turned to her in shock. Fight, Rafik asked. We barely survived last time. Kara stood and held up the sphere they recovered from the Echo Vault. It pulsed brightly now, glowing with a cold inner. Fire. This changes things, she said. This is why they feared us. We just haven't unlocked it yet. The crew fell silent. Kara walked over to the core chamber. She placed the sphere into a socket Syl had adapted to accept alien tech. As soon as it clicked into place, the ship shuddered. Lights flickered, then steadied. A soft hum filled the air, deep and rising. "Syl?" Kara asked. "New systems detected," the AI said calmly. "Interface is activating. Chip-wide power. Output increased by 230%. Weapons grid enhanced. Shields modified." The screens lit up with new symbols. Human systems blended with alien code. "The Deliverance was no longer just a scout ship. It had evolved, Commander," Syl continued. "I recommend we test the upgrades." Kara smirked. "We'll do more than test them." Outside, the Dra'kul ship turned sharply, lining up another attack. Its red core glowed brighter. It prepared to strike. "Ready weapons?" Kara ordered. "Lock onto its emitter nodeware. The pulses start." Hart nodded. Target locked. Fire. Twin beams shot from the Deliverance, sharp and bright, one blue, one white. They hit the enemy ship dead center. At first, nothing happened. Then, the Dra'kul ship screamed. The sound shook every speaker on the Deliverance. "It's not mechanical. Not digital. It was alive." "It's hurt," Rafik said, stunned. Kara's eyes narrowed. "Good." The alien ship fired back a red pulse that crashed into their shields. For a second, everything went dark. Then the vault sphere flared, and the systems snapped back. "Syl?" Kara asked. Shields recharged. Sphere absorbed impact, translating data. "What data?" The Dra'kul. "Fear connection. They cannot drain what is shared." Kara didn't understand at first. "Explain." "The more you act as one unit together, the less power they steal. Fear isolates. Unity resists." Kara looked at her crew. "So the more we fight together, the stronger we become?" "Yes." She turned back to the screen. "Then let's show them what humans do best." She gave new orders. Heartful spread attack. Use the enhanced systems. Rafik analyze that scream. Find a weak point. Generate out extra power to the forward shields and engines. Going head on. The ship roared forward, moving faster than ever before. The Dra'kul ship responded. Shifting form, launching jagged black shards that tore through space like blades. One of them clipped the side of the Deliverance, slicing open a panel. Sparks flew. "We're leaking." "Air on deck 3. Shouted a voiceover comes. "Seal it." "Hold course," Kara replied. The vault sphere flashed again. Another wave of energy passed through the ship. Renari, watching from the medbay, felt it like a heartbeat steady. Strong, she closed her eyes and whispered, "Burn, humans, burn." Bright. Back on the bridge, Rafik gasped. "I found something," he said. "The Dra'kul ship it has a central node. Okay, brain maybe, but it hides it with false signals." "Can we hit it?" Kara asked. "With the new tech? Yes." But we have one shot." She didn't hesitate. "Hart, prepare the pulse cannon. Load all remaining power." The Deliverance circled fast, dodging the enemy's fire, diving through blasts and debris like a dancer in a storm. Kara waited, watched, then saw it. The Dra'kul ship shifted shape again. Just for a moment, and its core was exposed. Now, she shouted, "Hart fired." A blinding beam burst from the ship, pure light, mixed with vault energy. It struck the Dra'kul ship's center, piercing its body. There was no explosion. Instead, the ship froze. Every red light on its surface blinked out, and then it cracked. It fell apart, like ash in the wind. Silence. Everyone stared at the screen. "Did we kill it?" Hart whispered. "No," Rafik said slowly. "We destroyed a scout. There are more, probably many more." Kara nodded. "But now we know how." The crew sat quietly, breathing hard. It's bruised and tired, but alive and changed. Renari entered the bridge, her eyes wide. She looked at the screen, then at Kara. "You fought as one," she said softly. "They could not feed." Kara smiled at her. "We fight. That's what we do." She turned to the crew. "Prepare a secure message." "We're going home," Syl confirmed. Communications restored. Earth link possible. Kara stood straight. Tell Earth. We answered the call. We found the enemy. And now, we know how to stop them. She looked out the window into space. We're not running anymore. Stars shone ahead, and Earth was waiting. Earth didn't believe it at first. When the Deliverance's message arrived, the footage stunned everyone. A black living ship, battle in deep space, a pulse weapon Earth had never seen before. And then, the impossibly human ship, upgraded with alien tech, destroying a Dra'kul scout. The public didn't know what to think, but Earth's leaders did. The threat was real, and it was coming. In orbit, the Earth Defense Coalition scrambled. Satellites were moved. Defense platforms activated. Fighters launched around the clock. For the first time in history, every nation on Earth worked together like one giant, scared family. They called the new operation Project Skywall. Its goal was simple: protect Earth at all costs. Back aboard the Deliverance, Kara stood in front of a massive display screen showing blueprints of Earth's orbit. Rings of defense satellites, shipyards, drone carriers, and battle stations surrounded the planet like a steel shield. But it still didn't feel like enough. They've seen us, she said. They won't stop with one scout, Rafik pointed. To the screen, we have maybe days. The Vault's data shows Dra'kul fleets travel through void corridors. They don't move like us. They phase. Hart stepped forward. So we won't see them coming until they're already here? Kara nodded. Exactly. Zill's voice echoed calmly across the bridge. Signal detected. Outer system. Multiple contacts. Dra'kul energy confirmed. Everyone froze. How many? Kara asked. Pause. 9 ships. 9 living, shadow-shaped ships, twice the size of the one they fought before. Earth had no time left. Kara tapped into Earth Command. Her message was direct. We need to act now. Send everything. All pilots, all drones. I don't care if it's half-built. If it flies, we need it. The next 24 hours were chaos.
Yes.
Launched every ship it had. Civilian freighters were turned into decoys. Old warships from 100 different nations were refitted and dragged into orbit. Fighters swarmed in tight drills above the atmosphere. The moonbase fired up long-range cannons not used in decades. The Deliverance, though damaged, was placed at the front of the line. It was now Earth's first and only hybrid ship, part human, part alien. Kara stood in the war room with the Vault sphere glowing on the table. We can't win with firepower, she told the other commanders. We win by breaking their feed. If they can't drain us, they can't fight us. But how? General asked. She pointed at the screen. Unity. Synchronization. Everyone fires together. Shields rise together. No fear. No hesitation. One part of the line falls, the whole thing falls. No one liked it, and no one had a better idea. Then the sky broke open. Space rippled like water, and 9 black shapes appeared in Earth's outer orbit, silent, watching, moving without sound, like sharks circling prey. Then, one by one, they began to glow red, charging. Earth's defense fleet opened fire. Beams lit up the sky. Missiles streaked through space. Drones swarmed like angry bees. The battle had begun. Kara stood on the Deliverance's bridge as the first wave hit. Shields holding, Sil reported. Frontline is holding, but barely. On screen, one of the older cruisers was hit by a red pulse. It didn't explode, just stopped. Every light inside went out. It drifted, lifeless. They drained it, Rafik said. Stay in formation, Kara ordered.
I do not break the line.
Fighters zipped past the Deliverance, launching coordinated strikes. When they attacked together, they survived. Then, something new happened. The Vault sphere began to pulse hard. It wasn't just glowing now, it was calling. Kara walked toward it. Sil, the sphere wants to connect, the AI said. To every human ship, it can sync them. Do it. A wave of energy burst from the Deliverance, sweeping through Earth's fleet. It didn't hurt. It linked. Every pilot, every gunner, every ship, suddenly, they felt it. Like they were part of one body, one mind. They moved as one. the Dra'kul noticed, and they didn't like it. Two of the ships turned toward the Deliverance, pulsing harder, faster, glowing like fire about to erupt. They're targeting us. Hart said. Let them, Kara replied. She raised her hand. All ships fire now. The Deliverance launched its enhanced pulse cannon at the same moment every human weapon fired. The impact was massive. One Dra'kul ship cracked, then burst into light. A cheer went through the fleet. The second one roared forward, but its pulse missed. Its energy passed through the now sensed human ships without effect. It can't. Train us, Rafik said. Not while we're connected. Then keep the link alive, Kara shouted. Everyone hold the line. The battle raged for what felt like hours. 4 more Dra'kul ships fell, 2 retreated. But 3 remained, and one of them was different. It didn't fire, it didn't chase, it simply watched. Renari appeared on the bridge beside Kara. That is the speaker, she said. Kara looked at her. What? The Dra'kul do not speak like us, but when they do, it is through. That one, it learns, it remembers. The speaker ship began to glow, slowly, deep red. It's scanning us, Syl said. Block it, Kara ordered. Cannot. It's not looking at systems. It's looking at us. Suddenly, the ship sent a signal, not words, an image, a vision. Everyone on the bridge saw it in there. Minds at once, earth burning, billions screaming. And one phrase whispered over and over in the dark. You will fall, like all the others. Kara's fists clenched. No, she said. We won't. She turned to the crew. This ends. Now, all power to the pulse cannon. Heart locked on. The sphere glowed brighter than ever. Speaker Dra'kul raised its defenses, but too late. The Deliverance fired. A beam of light tore across the battlefield, cutting through the void, striking the speaker ship straight in its glowing heart. For 1 second, everything stopped. Then the speaker cracked in half and vanished. Silence returned. The battle was over. The last Dra'kul ship fled, disappearing into space. Earth was still standing. Barely, but it was still here. The bridge went quiet. Everyone stared at the empty screen, too tired to cheer. Then Kara said one word. Prepare the next message. To who? Hart asked. Kara looked at the stars. To anyone still listening? We fought back. We're not done yet. The stars looked calm, but Kara knew better. After the battle, Earth entered a strange silence. Wreckage floated across orbit. Hundreds of ships damaged, burned, or broken drifted like ghosts above the blue planet. But Earth was still alive. And so was Deliverance. Inside the ship, everything was quiet now. The vault sphere pulsed gently, no longer calling, no longer burning. It had done its part, but something had changed. Syl, the AI, was no longer just a voice. It had grown, more precise, more aware. Syl, Kara asked, as she entered the bridge. I am here, it said softly. The sphere enhanced my core. I see more now, I feel. ... Purpose. Kara nodded. She felt it too. Like something unfinished was pulling her forward. We're not done, she whispered. Rafik stepped in behind her, carrying a small data slate. His face was pale. I analyzed the retreat signal, he said. What did you find? She asked. They weren't retreating. They were warning the others. Kara froze. Others. Rafik tapped the screen. The speaker wasn't just a leader, it was a scout commander. There's a whole network of them watching, waiting. Hart walked in, still limping from shrapnel in the last battle. How many are we talking about? Rafik looked up. Hundreds, maybe more. No one spoke. Kara finally said, then Earth isn't safe. Not yet. The comms console lit up. A message from Earth Command. It was short. We need answers. Can you find them? Kara stared at the words. Set course, she said. We're not waiting for the next wave to come to us. The Deliverance left orbit 2 hours later. They're heading deep space beyond human reach, where the vault signal first echoed across the stars. Kara stood by the window, watching Earth shrink behind them. You ever think we're not ready for this? Hart asked, half joking. Kara gave a tired smile. We never were, but here we are, as they reached the edge of the known systems. Syl spoke again. I've located something. Signal. Buried beneath vault code. What kind of signal? Rafik asked. Not Dra'kul, not human. Something in between. The crew looked at one another. Syl continued. Coordinates locked. It's coming from a dead zone, a place no data returns from. No light, no sound, just silence. Sounds like a trap, Hart muttered. Or a grave, Juno added from engineering. Kara nodded. Let's walk in anyway. 2 days passed in tense silence. Then they arrived. First they saw nothing. Just black space. No stars. No dust. But then the ship's lights dimmed. The sphere flared again. And a massive structure came into view. It wasn't built like a station. It looked grown twisting branches of metal, bone, and glass. Floating there. Silent. Dead. Or sleeping. What is that? Rafik whispered. Syl answered. A vault seed. One of the first. Kara leaned closer to the screen. How do you know? Because it remembers me. The ship shuddered. Wait, it remembers you? Hart asked. Syl clarified the vault sphere. It was part of this. Kara gave the order. Prepare for boarding. They entered the station through a broken docking ring. Inside, it was darkened till the sphere's glow lit the walls. Alien symbols flickered as they walked. Renari read them slowly, whispering, It's a warning. A warning to who? Gara asked. To us, she said. To the creators. They built the vaults to share knowledge. But something answered. They turned a corner and stopped. In the center of a massive chamber floated a giant rotting structure. A throne, and on it sat a fossilized body humanoid, ancient, draped in armor, now cracked and crumbling. Behind it, hundreds of tubes reached out like roots stretching across the station. Each tube led to a glowing pod. Each pod held a memory. Syl translated the alien script glowing above the throne. We opened the gate. The Dra'kul came. We closed it too late. Rafik moved to a nearby console. He placed his hand on the surface. A burst of light surged through the floor. And then the station spoke. Not in words, not in voice, but in memories. The crew fell to their knees as the memories flooded in. They saw a civilization tall, brilliant, ancient reach into the stars. They saw the vaults created to connect minds, to share knowledge, to unite galaxies. And then they saw the Dra'kul arrive. Not ships, not an empire, a hunger. The Dra'kul weren't built, they were drawn. It's born from the chaos created by the vaults. Feeding on fear, thought, and separation, a virus. And the vault's creators, realizing their mistakes, tried to stop it. They failed. They died here, in this tomb, sealing their knowledge away so no others would repeat their mistake. But now, humanity had opened the vaults again. The message ended. The crew gasped as they pulled back into themselves. Kara stood slowly. So the vaults created the Dra'kul. Not directly, Rafik said, but they opened the door. Then we're part of it now, Kara said. We woke them. We called them. Renari stepped forward. But you also did what they could not. You resisted. United. That is what they fear. Kara turned to Syl. Can this place still connect to others? Yes, the AI answered. If activated, it could send a final signal. A message to all vaults. A warning. A command. Then do it, she said. Tell the galaxy. Humanity is awake. The Dra'kul are real, and we're fighting back. Syl paused. Done. The lights dimmed. The message sent.
Yes.
The vault seed behind Kara stood once again at the viewing window, watching the stars return. Hart approached her. What now? He asked. She looked out at the vast, dangerous sky. She said, we get ready, 'cause the war's just beginning. Behind her, the vault sphere glowed. The stars were not silent anymore. Ever since the Deliverance sent the message from the vault seed, signals had started pouring in from deep space. Some were warnings. Some were cries for help. And a few were answers. Humanity was no longer alone. But that didn't make the galaxy safer. Kara sat alone in the war room, staring at a rotating display of strange alien languages, each translated by Syl. Each saying something different, but all meaning the same thing. We heard you. Dra'kul are coming. The crew was tired. So was Earth. But there was no time to rest. Not yet. The Deliverance returned home to a changed world. Earth's skies were filled with ships, now some newly built, others recovered and repaired. Defense platforms gleamed in orbit. The moon base had been fully reactivated. Even Mars had launched its first long-range patrol squadron. Unity had come. But only because of fear, Kara stepped onto the main bridge where Rafik, Hart, Juno, and Renari waited. "We have our allies," Kara said. "Now we need to become something more." Renara gave a faint smile. "The vaults showed what happens when knowledge is shared without wisdom. It won't happen again." Syl's voice echoed gently. "I agree. I've processed millions of signals. Most civilizations crumble when tested. Humanity, synchronized instead. That is rare. Rare enough to fight back," Art asked. Dotsrel replied, "Rare enough to lead." The screen changed. A map of the nearby stars appeared. Several glowed blue, friendly responses. A few pulsed red, possible Dra'kul sightings. But one far-edge system flickered, bright gold. Kara narrowed her eyes. "That's new. It is Syl confirmed." Signal repeating one phrase. "We are still here." "Coordinates?" Kara asked. Isil zoomed in. A system previously thought dead. Now active. Energy levels rising. Juno frowned. "Could be another vault seed, or worse," Rafik added. Kara didn't blink. Set a course. 3 days later, Deliverance reached the edge of the gold system. At first, it looked empty. But as the ship approached, massive, objects began to appear. Shattered. Hundreds of them. All drifting in silence. Syl scanned the debris. "None are Dra'kul. These are older. Far older than the seed vault. This was a war. Who fought?" Kara asked. "No known signatures. But they were advanced, possibly the first to resist the Dra'kul." The ship crept forward, and then, from the center of the wreckage field, a single light blinked on. A small station, half functional, but active. Kara ordered the ship to dock as the team entered the ancient structure. They noticed something strange: walls made of living metal. Not unlike the vaults, but smoother, softer. A voice greeted them, not through sound, but through feeling. "You are not them," it said. Kara paused. "Who are you?" "I am the memory." A shape appeared, holographic, like smoke. It looked human, but its eyes were silver, ancient, endless. "We fought the Dra'kul," the memory said. "Long before you, we built vaults to spread resistance. But the vaults turned. We sealed ourselves away." Rafik stepped forward. "Why send a signal now?" "Because you resisted. You fought them with unity. That was the key. We never found." Kara frowned. "You watched?" "We slept, till we saw you destroy the speaker. That was not expected." Hart crossed his arms. "So what now? You show us how to beat them?" The memory looked at him. "No, I give you a choice." A panel opened beside the hologram. Inside it was a black shard, glowing faintly with red light. "The Dra'kul are not creatures," the memory explained. "They are a system, a reaction to chaos. This shard is part of that system. Dangerous, but useful." Kara looked at it. "A weapon, but not just to destroy," the memory said. "To understand, to rewrite." Syl translated what the memory could not explain in words. If installed in Deliverance, this shard could allow us to trace the Dra'kul back to their origin, their core, their mind. "Then what?" Hart asked. Syl answered carefully. "Then we end it." Kara looked at her team. Rafik nodded slowly. "We've come this far," Juno said. "We can't just fight them forever. Even Renari agreed. My people would follow. Kara stepped forward and picked up the shard. It was cold, then warm, then silent. Back on Deliverance, Syl integrated the shard into her core. Lights flickered. The ship trembled, but it did not break. Instead, a new path appeared on the star map, a thread thin, its flickering leading deeper than any charted system. Syl's voice returned, quiet and steady. I see it now. Where they began, where they still live. Kara sat in the command chair. Then that's where we go. The final jump took Deliverance beyond the edge of known space. No stars shone here, only shadow. The ship drifted through the dark until a shape appeared massive. Coiled asleep, it wasn't a station. It wasn't a fleet. It was alive. The origin. The mind. The heart of the Dra'kul. Syl whispered. They're dreaming. But they're aware. Kara stood. This is it. Rafik armed the pulse cannon. Heart locked the shields. Juno synced the energy grid. Renari took a deep breath. They were ready, spoke one last time. If we fire, they will awaken. But if we connect, there may be another way. Kara thought for a long moment, then said, no more fear, connect. The vault sphere pulsed, and then everything changed. They weren't in space anymore. They were inside a mind, dark, cold, endless. A voice greeted them, not angry, not cruel, just curious. You are. New Kara answered with her thoughts. We are human. You tried to feed on us, we said no. The voice pulsed. You united, that hurt us. We're drawn to fear, chaos, division. You are incompatible. Rafik asked, why do you feed at all? Because we were made to. When minds open, we fill. Them, you opened. We followed. Juno said, can you stop? Long pause, perhaps? Not as we are. Kara understood then. You're not evil. You're broken. The voice flickered. Can you fix what made us? Kara looked at her crew, then said yes, but you have to let us in. Another pause. Then the mind opened. The sphere pulsed one. Last time, and the Dra'kul changed. Back aboard Deliverance. The ship powered down outside, the massive shape of the Dra'kul origin. Unraveled, not exploding, transforming like a dark storm breaking into light. Syl's voice returned. It is done. The cycle is broken. Kara sat down slowly. Is it really over? Not over, Syl said. But begun again with choice. The crew looked out the window where stars began to reappear. Hope, 3 weeks later. Earth received one final signal. From 100 systems. From allies. From former enemies. And from something new. No longer Dra'kul. Awakened. The message was simple. We remember Earth. We remember what you did. And we will never forget. Y. Forever.